Welcome to a special episode of Around the Blockchain. We're just going to have one topic today. We're going over tax accounting software, and it's going to be a very special episode. I'm kidding, of course. We're talking about SBF and CZ, and apparently Binance buying out FTX. And what does this mean for the markets? It's going to be a fantastic episode. We're going to get right into who do we have on the top right. I believe we have Caleb holding it down, and he's going to help maybe decipher some of this on-chain stuff. What is going on, who's getting liquidated, all the longs. It is a wild story. On the bottom right, we have Missteen Crypto. Again, you're going to want to make sure you follow all of these channels. On the bottom left, I heard she was mentioned on the Up Only pod this morning. It is Maren Altman, and she's going to help us decipher what the heck's going on. And also, of course, we have Max Wright, contrarian dude. And contrarian dude, I bet you woke up this morning and thought, you know, the main topic is going to be the elections. What happened?
I know. Sorry, no election talk today. We got Binance to talk about.
Yeah, there's bigger fish to fry. Well, let's look at the market watch, and we can kind of just read the temperature of the room. It's sweltering. It is hot, but no, not in the good way. The floor is lava, meaning my bag's getting eaten up and disappearing into nothing. Bitcoin is down 10%. Ethereum down 15%. BNB holding up much stronger than most of the market, only down a little less than 6%. XRP 14, Cardano in the rarefied single-digit loss club for the 24-hour chart. Dogecoin almost a quarter, Polygon almost 15%, Solana almost a quarter, Polkadot. I mean, the contagion is real. Let's look at FTT though. That is one of the main stories. FTT was a top 20 coin. I looked this morning at 11:30. I had to scroll all the way down to 24. Let's see where it is at now. I don't even know if it's going to be accurate. I don't see it at the moment, but it is at one point. Yeah, here we go. Rank 52. So it more than doubled its ranking there, falling hard. Seemingly appearing like it's falling off of the screen here. If we go to the 7-day, you get a better idea of how drastic that downturn was. Now, Max Wright, you've been around. You've seen whale games before. This isn't anything new to you when it comes to these whale games, but did you have on your bingo card that the two whales that would be fighting in the public arena would be SBF and CZ? What are your thoughts on SBF being insolvent when we thought he was, a Teflon Don?
Yeah, no, this one totally came out of the blue for me. So I mean, we've kind of had a little bit of a heads up this last week, but really, really surprising. This is the number 1 and number 2 crypto exchanges out there. And there's just so many implications from this. So the big thing here is at the moment, it looks like depositors are going to be made whole. And that's just really, really important. I think a lot of us would sacrifice a lot to have everyone get their money back. That would be a pretty important thing to have happen. But there's a lot of bad things that have come from this. So number 1, we have a huge consolidation of the top 2 cryptocurrency exchanges. So that's a huge problem that we need to be concerned about. And then there's just all the things of the contagion that will happen from this. So obviously we're seeing all the crypto things come down. Bitcoin down 10%, a lot of these altcoins down 20% and more. And people are going to get reminded, and they will continue to get reminded throughout this bear market of counterparty risk. You know, as you go out the risk curve, meaning you head from Bitcoin out into the wilderness of the altcoins, you go into higher risk, higher reward. And in a down market, in a sideways market, in a vulnerable market, in a macro bearish market, you know, there's just all these counterparty risks just bubble up. And when they hit hard. And you get that graph today for FTT, but you also got it for Luna a few months ago. And will we see contagion from this? Remember, Luna happened and then Celsius happened, right? So I don't know how many other institutions had FTT holdings. You know, what does that do to their portfolio? Are they now insolvent? There's so many other things that can trickle on and follow from this. And, it's just going to be a contagious event, and we're going to see it play out for weeks or months to come.
Yeah, I had a small bag of FTT, but I don't think I'm moving the market any with my 30 coins. I don't think that's doing too much there. Now, Caleb, there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen. And, just a quick summation. I know you know what's going on, but for those watching at home, FTX looks like it's going to be bought out by Binance. There's still due diligence, and Binance can back out of the deal. But it appears that to help the insolvency rumors, they're stepping in. They're going to help, make sure customers' assets are covered one-to-one. Withdrawals from FTX were, heavily delayed, leading to insolvency rumors. Have they paused withdrawals, halted withdrawals? But now it appears everything seems to be moving quite smoothly as far as what I've seen as far as people trying to pull out their funds. So a huge liquidity rush on FTX there. But I want to talk to you about FTT. FTT is the coin behind FTX. We looked at the price there. It was $25 start of the week. If I look right now, CoinMarketCap has it at $5. Is down significantly, down 80% here. What is the future of FTT? If these two exchanges do coalesce into one unit, are they eliminating it? Is there a buyback? Is this a slow rug to zero, as they like to say? What do you think the future is for FTT?
It's an interesting question. I think, first of all, thanks again for having me on. I think, as we think about what's happening to FTT and the price pressure that's happening in that spot, especially when I look at altcoins, I love to throw on some TA. And I was outlining earlier this week and over the weekend that we were getting very close to breaking beneath some very long-term support structure for FTT. I think that was around the $20 to $19 range. Sure enough, we nuked below that this morning. And then we even had this long-term descending channel from the all-time highs. And now we're shattering below that, got into the 2 handle later this afternoon. And now, market's kind of struggling to figure out some sort of equilibrium price, right? And so it's kind of funny because earlier, I think it was yesterday, I just kind of thinking out loud shared this like potential hedge trading strategy, which was some sort of pair trade with long FTT, short Solana, or vice versa, and then maybe throwing in BNB in there, just because these are all the major big players that are kind of in the mix. Being short FTT was obviously the most no-brainer of all of those, but then obviously you have large borrowing costs right now. I think even with those excessive borrowing costs, it's still paid quite handsomely. But, I'm not sure where the future of it is going to go, but I certainly wouldn't necessarily want to own it. I expect to see a lot of volatility, head fakes to the upside. But, from my perspective, I'd be looking to fade each of those rallies and expect to see lower lows.
All right. Well, speaking of fading, we had the moon fading away last night. Now, Maren Altman, there's a lot of, connections that people make when it comes to astrology, the tides of the moon, and how can that affect, human beings, where there's a lot of water within us. So I think there's a little something there with how it affects mood. Is there any, heuristic or common sense thing that when you see, I know it's the blood moon, people love to, talk about which moon of the 13 cycles it is, but is there anything that kind of coincides with eclipses? I mean, do people get a little crazy? Do they get a little squirrely? Do they get a little, sleepy or wild-eyed? Do they become the wild card? What should we have expected? And that kind of line up with what is happening in the crypto market?
Yeah. So lunar eclipses are by definition full moons. They're just an extreme kind of full moon that is on the ecliptic or the edges of the sun's orbit. So it's kind of like a full moon on steroids or multiplied in intensity. So if normal full moons are already where hospitals are a little more full, more parties tend to happen on full moons, it's just an energetic high point, then a lunar eclipse, especially conjunct one of the most volatile planets, and this whole entire alignment is just very, very disruptive. Looks like a very energetically charged time right now. I know that myself and several other people, maybe most people, had an incredible amount of trouble falling asleep last night. And it's in the sign of Taurus, which does deal with tangible values such as finance, stability, earth. So having a major earthquake along with this kind of financial disruption in the space right now, it's the kind of thing where I was days prior talking about the unexpected, because it's a kind of energy that even if you're looking for it, tends to be exactly what will be most surprising by definition. So thankfully we are fading out of it, but it just happened at 6 a.m. Eastern this morning. So it's still definitely in range of feeling the intensity. But I've just kind of been sitting back and laughing, you could say, like, okay, well, here we are. And thankfully the second half of November is more boring. This is definitely the high point of intensity, but it makes sense for people to be acting a little bit more crazy, erratic, and definitely having sleep problems, which I don't particularly like, but at least it's all entertaining.
Yeah, what is up with that? I mean, how come those hospitals do fill up? How come arrests do go higher? What are you doing, people? Just be like Teen Wolf, full moon, maybe go play a little basketball. You don't go out and commit crimes. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Missteen Crypto, I want to ask you about, a little speculation with what are they going to do with the FTX brand? Let's assume this deal goes through. CZ and Binance, they own FTX. They have FTX Arena. Do they keep the name, or do they just rename everything to Binance or Binance US, perhaps?
That's really interesting. When this all broke, I was very not shocked. I knew Binance was somehow going to come out on top in some way, shape, or form. I think SBF kind of dug himself in a little bit of a hole that he needed to get out of, so CZ kind of helped him out in this case. Right now, I know the letter of intent is for the non-US part of FTX. I think that's great. I also do see that Binance might actually keep FTX the way it is, or maybe rebrand it. I think it depends on where they want to go with the marketing, because I could see it could be an advantage of them to not only have Binance, but to have FTX, because they're already two very well-known brands, and they could probably coincide with one another. They both have a lot of things going on with NFTs, a lot of great things going on with marketing on both sides. As for the FTT token, I don't know if Binance would want to take that with it, considering the damage it's done. And I don't really think that a lot of people would trust FTT token, which makes me think now at this point, maybe a rebrand would be better for FTX, just kind of have it under the Binance umbrella, or have FTX by Binance, something like that, to that degree. I could definitely picture something happening there.
Okay, yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. So many, they've invested so much money in getting the brand recognition for people who don't have much crypto exposure, with all the sports advertising, to just throw it all away. It'll be interesting to see what they end up deciding. Now, Max, I want to talk to you, about some of this price action. It is just insane. But let's talk about, Solana. Not only just the price, but the health of the ecosystem. Contrarian dude, I know you stand for decentralization. And I think there's another side of the Solana argument that moving forward, Solana is now more decentralized. Obviously, the price is going to suffer, but in a weird way, is this helping or hurting Solana in its future? I mean, there's an argument for both ways, I believe.
Yeah, I can see that going both ways. Just looking at the chart now, pulling it up. I mean, man, it's just, let me do the quick measurement here. How far off the highs is it? It's crazy.
And if you want to share your screen, you can. If not, I can go ahead and pull up the Solana.
It's down 92% off of its highs already. Yeah, the price action on Solana is brutal. Whether or not this comes out to be better or worse for its decentralization factor, I'm not too sure about that. It'll be tough to see. What I think is kind of fascinating in all of this is you have, remember just a few months ago, we had the Luna crash, then we had Celsius crash after that. And if you recall, FTX was the one who was like running to the fore. It's like, oh, hey, we'll bail out Celsius. FTX offered to bail out Celsius, but that didn't end up going through. But I find it fascinating that we had this situation where FTX was it was the one that looked like it was in good shape and saving other companies that were in trouble. And now we have a situation where FTX is going down, someone else is saving in trouble. So my mind starts to think about this. I'm like, well, okay, hang on a second. Let me slow down and think. Does this necessarily mean that Binance is super good? Now, that's a long bow to draw, by the way. I'm aware that I'm doing that. But I wanted to paint the picture. It's like you never know what's going on behind the scenes here at all. We don't know how strong so many of these organizations in the crypto are. They came out in the last kind of bull run. Many of them are relatively new. Certainly, they all grew very, very quickly. And in these environments, the level of skill set and risk management doesn't go up linearly in proportion to the amount of the volume on the exchanges and the valuations of these things. The skill set required of the CEOs, of the investors, of the risk management team to manage these massive geometric growth spurts is incredible. And so then when everything comes crashing down and you get this big pullback like we have, you just never know what the hell's going on, because these things take 3, 6, 9, 12 months to come flushing out through the system. And you've got so many organizations, so many companies, so many coins, so many tokens, all that just went parabolic, have come down, and now you've just got very, very inexperienced teams trying to piece it all together with sticky tape. And it is just a very, very scary time right now, right across the board. And so I'm just that's where my head goes with these things right now.
Yeah, you bring up a good point of irregular growth patterns and trying to scale a business in an environment like that. It's like you're a race car driver, but you don't know when your engine gets gasoline and when it doesn't, but then trying to still navigate when you go for a pit stop, when do you drive or try to pass somebody. So it's a good take there. It's a good mental model to have. Thank you. Now, Caleb, you have glasses on, Caleb, and You know how this channel feels about people with glasses. I'm going to try to set aside these viewpoints, but I want to ask you about I see glasses, so I'm going to ask you like a GitHub/development style question here. A lot of people, did do development work on Solana. They had a semi-healthy GitHub, robust ecosystem. A lot of people, building out NFTs, helping out smart contracts, stable coins, DeFi. There's all these, things being built on Solana. Now, this is all speculation. I feel like some of those developers working on it because it had a robust VC ecosystem, meaning you can bet on DeFi and building out a DeFi protocol because VC money will be there 12 months from now. Do you think that changes now? And are people going to be less hesitant to build on Solana?
Well, first of all, let me clarify something. These are prescription.
I wear contacts, so you get a pass. Okay, all right.
There you go.
I'll wear mine one day.
There you go. Yeah, you got to join me, man. You got to join the team glasses. But no, I think that's an interesting point. I never actually thought about it that way, but it makes perfect sense. And so I think, for a lot of people, including myself, buying layer one assets is essentially a bet on really smart people building really great use cases and innovative services on blockchain technology, right? And so, I have zero programming or developer experience, so I'll leave it to them to, create that innovation going forward. And I think you're right, in a space where there might not necessarily be a lot of revenue right off the bat, developers and product designers, if you will, are going to flood to an ecosystem that's going to be receiving the most monetary support. And these people might have an easier pitch to a team of VCs when they can say, oh, well, we're building on Solana, and most of the VC community that's dabbling in crypto is going to already be perhaps onboarded into the Solana ecosystem or generally aligned with what Solana stands for and what they're trying to build. So, it'll be interesting to see if we start to see more developers flood into other ecosystems. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a flood, but I think you would generally expect to see somewhat of a transition. And I think it'll be interesting overall. Like, you asked Max that question, does this make Solana more or less decentralized? And I think Solana already was probably considered to be one of the more centralized layer one blockchain solutions. So I don't know, that's definitely going to be something that's going to be worthwhile to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And, just for reference, Frank DeGods, he's already expressing interest in forking what some call the #1 NFT project on Solana, forking it to Ethereum. So we're definitely seeing musings and mutterings. And I mean, if it leads to actual abandonment of the blockchain, that remains to be seen. But people are definitely talking about it. Now, Maren Altman, I want to ask you kind of, I don't want to ask for so much of a price prediction here, but how about, is this a good opportunity? Is this an opportunity where you're seeing Bitcoin had crashed so hard? There's a lot of alts that are cheap. Is this a buy the dip opportunity to you? Or are you looking for maybe another leg down, some of those 11, 12, 13 targets, or maybe even that 3K, 5K Bitcoin target?
Well, on a very short-term basis, we generally do dump into full moons and then pivot up out of them. Because this is a supercharged full moon, it's a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses definitely are signals for dumping into them. I would say it's not a short-term bad buy opportunity. I want to really be clear about short-term because I think that given the macro environment and interest rates, that it's kind of like treading water in a sense, that even if the space itself is improving fundamentally or somehow has a more bullish narrative, that is still treading water against Fed reactions. So by no means do I think it's feasible, nor is it responsible to recommend any term of long-term bullish outlook over the next few months. But I do think on the short term, I would not be opposed to buying and then over the next 2 weeks looking for a slight recovery simply on that very short-term basis. I know that this was a pretty severe dump, almost 10%, it looks like right now. So it's honestly not bad, but by no means do I want to encourage any long-term. And I don't really have any prediction as for 3, 5K, any that kind of thing. I don't have any opinion on that, but that sounds severe. Yeah. All
right. Well, ironically, Maren saying it might not moon. I never saw that one coming. All right, sorry, I had to get the astrology pun in there. All right, Missteen Crypto, I might ask everybody this question. A lot of people are waiting for the capitulation event, aka Max Pain. Is this Max Pain, or are we going to be wishing for days like this in the future?
Honestly, I think this could signal the bottom. Everyone was saying we need one more big event, and this drawdown has been dramatic, especially over the past 24 hours. We haven't seen this much price action in 24 hours in a long time. So I do think this could bring us down to the bottom. At least I hope it is. I think this could be the start of something new, as they say in High School Musical. You know what I mean? The big meme that's out there. I do think this could be the start of something new. I don't see why this wouldn't kick off something amazing, especially because when you think about what BitBoy was doing and how he kind of called out Sam and said, hey, like, we need someone that's for peer-to-peer payments. We need DeFi. And now Sam kind of handed everything over to CZ. And if you pay attention to what CZ's been doing, he made a $500 million investment in Twitter. So now he's with Elon Musk. And Elon Musk did deny FTX as a potential investor in Twitter. So we know that CZ has a connection with Elon, which could bring further crypto adoption. So I don't see why this can't be a good thing for overall the whole crypto space, especially because Elon's free speech and CZ's one of us.
Oh, good Lord. I'm probably going to buy the Doge dip now. Now you got me, realizing maybe I can still get in for a nickel. All right. Now,
who knows,
Max,
CZ?
Who knows? I mean,
Don't-
look, it
don't
probably
to a
will
dollar,
go to
bro.
25. I think it will go to 25
Not
cents.
financial advice. Not financial
It won't-
advice.
it won't
Everyone's going
hit
to
a
clip
dollar.
this.
It won't hit a dollar. It won't hit a dollar within the next 6 years. Maybe
Is that financial
that'd
advice?
be 2 bull runs. All right, within the next 5 years, it won't hit a dollar. Maybe 2 bull runs from now. God, I hope it doesn't. Max Wright, I sold too much. Max Wright, I want to ask you about BNB though. You know, BNB seems poised to be a large winner. So I want to ask you on a 12 to 24 month time frame, is BNB going to gain Satoshis during that period, or is it just going to bleed like 99% of alts?
On a 24-month time frame,
Yes.
you think most alts are going to bleed to Bitcoin?
Well, it depends on what part of the bull run. If it's 2 months after the bull run, yeah, they're not bleeding. If it's 4 months after the Bitcoin hype, yes, they are bleeding. So it depends on where you think the exact peak will be.
Yeah,
Well, let's just say
24 months from now. 24 months from now puts us past the next halving, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, which means we're well and truly into the next bull run, which I would think that the altcoins would be doing pretty well by then. But look, this is really hard to know. It's a great question, by the way, and it's really hard to know what the hell's going on behind the scenes at BNB. I used the example of before how FTX was looking strong enough to make acquisitions a few months ago, and now all of a sudden they're being taken over. BNB looks strong. It looks poised to be the winner out of all of this. It was a phenomenally strong coin in the last bull run. Everything that we see so far suggests it could be doing very, very well in the next bull run, which, by the way, a lot of people I'm talking to in the terms of the timing, not so much the number, but in terms of the timing model, put the lows around about now, November, December, including BitBoy Crypto, I believe. So, if this does turn out to be the low, and we did make a new low today, if this turns out to be the low, and we've basically got the next 24 months of heading in the upward direction now. I'm not saying I think that's definitely it. The macro condition is very special. I think we could have some more downside personally, but there's a lot of things saying that there's a lot of arguments to say, we're getting to the point now where, more and more people are starting to say, okay, timing wise, this is when the bottom should be. Maybe we're there. And if prices go up over the next 24 months, I would expect eventually altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. But having said that, typically what happens is Bitcoin goes up first and then on its journey up. Altcoins lag and then do this big catch up at the end. So with that concept in mind, I would be like, the further time frame out you go, I would say the more likely altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. But there's a lot of ifs and buts in there, so I'm not sure how helpful that answer was.
All right, no, and good point too. 36 months would have been a better timeline. You are right with the time. Like 36 would have been a better time to be bleeding against. But that's just, who knows 3 months from now, let alone 36. Now, Caleb,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the DeFi ecosystem. Do you think that Binance, BNB chain, BSC, are they poised to become maybe the next leader of DeFi, or is this going to go to a competitor? Aptos, Cardano, I don't even want to say some of the more centralized coins, but I mean, is there a chance that they can be, number 2 to Ethereum?
I guess it's possible. Like, full transparency, DeFi definitely is not my strong suit at all. I come from a traditional finance background, and that I wouldn't have.
Hold on. You don't like
insights on that.
APYs that are like 387%?
Man, hey, sign me up. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. So I wouldn't have an answer on that, man.
Okay. All right. Well, that will be now. Maren Altman, any any coins or hidden opportunities that you see as that maybe an underreported story? Is perhaps Ethereum going to be a big winner from this as Binance scales? Maybe more people download MetaMask. I mean, where are you looking at this and saying there's a hidden gem that might emerge from all of this?
Tether, maybe.
Oh,
Really
that was good.
like.
That was good. Yeah, you're actually probably right. You're probably right. It's probably the only coin that won't go down.
Not. No. You won't catch me dead really ever saying there's going to be some gem ever. I'm not the one who ever, literally don't ever know that. I've never picked a winner. Deadass never picked a winner. So like, I'm not the person. If I'm hearing about it, we're topped, if not on the way down. So
I heard from a little birdie that you were the first guest ever on Up Only. And you know what? You picked a winner with that one because that's a pretty solid podcast. So you can pick a winner, Maren. You can pick a winner. We believe in you. We believe in you. I'm going to copy trade you now. Full disclosure. All right, Missteen Crypto. I want to ask you. You brought up a good point with Elon and Twitter and Doge and this little shadowy connection that we have with CZ here. What do you think about? What is the possibility that Binance Smart Chain gets rolled out on Twitter? I mean, is this increase the odds now that they're even more powerful than before, and BNB seems even more robust than before? And full disclosure, Binance Smart Chain is superior to Doge when it comes to interacting with the network. Sorry, don't attack me, Doge. Maxie's here, but I mean, there's speculation that we're going to be using Doge to send payments. What about Binance Smart Chain? Any thoughts?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm very happy you asked it because I think that with CZ coming in, he even said on CNBC he wants to give crypto a seat at the table, which is why he started investing in Twitter in the first place. Now, he hinted at that with Elon's new plan with Twitter Blue $8 verification that maybe, perhaps, some payments could be made in cryptocurrency, whether that's Doge or whatever CZ decides to pick. That'll be great. Whatever it is, it is. Now, I do know that there's a big come about in social media, NFTs, and blockchains. If you look at Instagram and Meta and what they've done in the past week is that they've integrated Polygon on a scale that you could buy, sell, and trade Polygon NFTs on Instagram. They also integrated Solana, so that is some bullish news for Solana. Now, why wouldn't Twitter try to do the same thing and elevate it when Twitter's already working with Magic Eden and a few other NFT marketplaces to integrate NFTs into Twitter? Plus, they want to make a crypto wallet on Twitter. Why wouldn't BSC try to spearhead this and make NFTs on Twitter where people can actually digitize their tweets? I know there was a huge thing going on when NFTs were first popping off where people were actually trying to NFT their tweets. I believe even Jack Dorsey was NFTing his tweets. There's so many things that could happen here, and why wouldn't CZ capitalize on this? But I do feel like he would capitalize on it in the right way. We also did see some problems with BSC in the past, but I do think that overall it has a very strong community, whereas if you compare it to FTT, a lot of people have lost trust in FTX. They lost trust in FTT. And with Binance taking over, there's a lot more trust in BNB, in the whole Binance ecosystem. So why not?
All right, I'm glad you brought up Matic. I'm gonna end the show with a little lightning round, and I'll start with you, Missteen Crypto, since you kind of reminded me about this coin. Who's you can't touch this hold for, we'll say, 1 year. What would you rather hold, Matic or BNB?
Oh, that's so zesty. I mean, with all information on hand, maybe Matic. At this point, their business development is insane. If you look at Ryan Wyatt, I think his last name is, he literally left YouTube Gaming, said, "See you later, YouTube, peace out," went to Polygon and absolutely rocket shipped this project with the Disney incubator, Starbucks, and now everything going on with Instagram and Meta. This is absolutely huge, and they're trying to scale adoption on a massive global scale in social media, which is something that Binance hasn't attempted yet. Now, if Binance tries to come in and take over this whole ecosystem, because what I've been talking about on Twitter and trying to ask Elon is, what are you going to do with live streaming? Well, Binance already has an answer for that. They have their own streaming platform already. So it depends on what they want to do, what these partnerships can actually look like between Elon and Twitter. As of right now, in business development and the way that adoption is going, maybe Matic. Not financial advice. I love them both, and I think they're both great ecosystems that are going somewhere.
And they're both on sale right now. Maren Altman, same question. You can't touch it for 1 year. You're going to hold your Matic, or are you going to hold BNB?
I would say Matic as well. not any comment on really BNB, more so the fact that I see like larger corporations or companies looking at Matic, like the Starbucks NFTs and just several other things that I feel like are building with Polygon that do lead me to think that there could be like utility to it at a more exponential rate than BNB. Not a knock on BNB at all. It's not really a comment on that. I'm just thinking if there's an exponential, I'm thinking of exponential adoption. I'm thinking more Matic.
Yeah, those two corporations, Disney, Starbucks, I mean, I guess they're kind of big, maybe. Most people have heard of it, probably, perhaps 40% of the time. Caleb, you can't touch it for 12 months. You're going to hold Matic or are you going to hold BNB?
I guess I'll be a little contrarian. I feel like, I definitely am enthusiastic about the Matic ecosystem, but all of the points that Missteen Crypto brought up and Maren brought up, I think they're already pretty much baked in, right? So the unknowns that I see and the upside catalysts would likely come more from Binance Smart Chain, BNB's ecosystem, this, that, and the other, right? Those question marks about what is going to happen with Twitter. What could Elon, perhaps do with CZ and that entire ecosystem and platform. So I don't know if we're certainly not in a speculator's market. And if I had a choice, I guess I wouldn't pick either. But if I had a gun to my head, so to speak, I'd go with BNB.
Wow, no love for Matic and BNB? No, I'm kidding. All right, Max Wright,
Burn.
one coin. Which one are you choosing? Any particular reason?
So how am I supposed to be contrarian when you guys go some of each, right? Geez, Caleb, you messed me up there. I think I think I would go. I think I would go BNB. More to the point that I like both projects, but more to the point in that I like. I think it's the safer bet. I also think that the way this is going to play out with today's news with the FTX, whatever. Who knows how that's going to be bundled up. CZ is a fantastic marketer, fantastic business operator.
Mm-hmm.
It may be the coin that is run on both platforms on the top two crypto exchanges. So there's a huge potential for upside there. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, fantastic marketer, fantastic business leader, and some would say, Michael, he has a fantastic haircut too. All right, and that is all we have, and it looks like we have a tie. We'll start with you, Max Wright. You want to give us about 20 seconds of parting thoughts, and then we'll end with Missteen Crypto. It's been a great show. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to all of the channels that you see right here. Follow them on Twitter. And while you're moving that mouse around, click on that like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does a whole service to the whole crypto industry. We really appreciate it. So, Max Wright, feel free. Please take it away.
Just some quick ones. Trade safe. Don't get wrecked. And I'll hand it over to you, Missteen Crypto.
Missteen.
Wow. Thank you for having me. You guys are all awesome. Please make sure to follow everyone. Closing words are stay calm, guys. We know why we're here. We know why we're in crypto. Make sure you take your crypto off of the exchanges, practice self-custody, DYOR, and follow everyone on this. Smash the like button. And as always, stay zesty. Peace, my friends.
All right.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to have Frankie going live in about 10 minutes. You can hang out in the waiting room if you like. Until next time, BitSquad, easy out. See you in the morning.